Hi. On Monday it will be the 7th anniversary of Fukushima, and as I predicted at the time, because you know it was obvious what had happened there, one reactor did blow up, one fuel pool blew up, another fuel pool caught on fire. We know there was 2 other explosions as well, and apparently hydrogen explosions in the other 2 nuclear reactors. It was obvious that it was a lot worse than they were saying. And I'll never forget, in December 2011, the evil BBC so-called news informed the British public that Fukushima was now in cold shutdown. You know, I absolutely knew that was a pack of lies. I knew that there was like at least 2 raging nuclear melt-throughs going on, with the whole area, the rest of the area, littered with plutonium rods. So, instead, slowly, as I predicted, the information starts leaking out. Oh, it was actually a lot worse than we'd said. You know, when we said that it was in cold shutdown, well, actually now we found out that no, there was actually 2 raging nuclear melt-throughs going on right at that very moment. But we didn't want to alarm the public. So 2015 comes by, you know, 3 years have passed. It's old news, Fukushima, isn't it? Now we'll let the public know. Yeah, actually, Fukushima released 13 billion times more neutrons than initially estimated. Yeah, we'll just let that one slip by. You won't see it in the mainstream news. We'll just leave it to global research. So, if anybody was in any doubt about neutron radiation, okay, neutron radiation is considered to be the most severe and dangerous radiation available. Neutrons can travel great distances. There you go. So where did they all travel to? All around the northern hemisphere, into the Pacific Ocean, which is dying. Okay, that's a fact. Fukushima has cast a death sentence on the Pacific Ocean. Animals developing strange diseases, they're appearing on California beaches covered in lesions, starving. The food chain has been seriously disrupted. And now, you know, after, well, it was last year, wasn't it? After, what, 6 years have passed, 7 years. Now, yeah, it was 6 years, wasn't it, last year? Now, we're just going to dump the water, the nuclear water, we're just going to dump it into the ocean now, you know, because we can't actually store it anymore in these big tanks that are all leaking anyway. So, you know, we're just going to chuck it all into the Pacific Ocean, because actually that's all we can do. Oh, that's all right. We won't even bother reporting on it, really. We'll just ignore it. Because we're so used to it now, Fukushima, aren't we? Oh yeah, billions of tons of nuclear contaminated water, radioactive water is being dumped into the Pacific every single day, but we don't mind. As long as you tell us about it a couple of years later. As long as you tell us about it, you know, once it's old news and it's like, oh well, yeah, it's still going on, isn't it? But it's easy to ignore something you can't see, touch, smell, hear or feel. But we do notice the dead creatures. We do notice the cancers. We do notice the starving creatures. We notice the impact on our children's health. And it has been hard for me to understand how people right from the offset just didn't realise, or you know, just refused, really did everything they could to play down the risks, to play down the even TEPCO's negligence, which TEPCO is negligent. They are negligent. They were professionally informed 10 years prior to this so-called accident that, you know, they really needed to invest in building a sea barrier to prevent a tsunami hitting the plant. TEPCO decided not to do it. In fact, the actual fact is they were asked to replace, they were asked to rebuild the natural sea barrier TEPCO had destroyed in order to build the plant. There you go. That's how insane they are. They actually destroyed a natural sea barrier. Why? Why? And it is somewhat ironic, isn't it, that Japan itself fell into the hands of the World Bank and control of America, and a series of World Bank puppet governments since World War II, since post-World War II, since America bombed Japan with 2 atomic weapons. And from there, they started building their nuclear power plants in Japan, 53 of them, each with 2 or more nuclear reactors. Oh, and now they've poisoned the whole planet and they're killing the Pacific Ocean. But that's alright, it's just, you know, poor TEPCO. So we've got at least 2 nuclear reactors that are just melting down, boring their way into the earth. Basically, we've got 2 China syndromes going on at Fukushima right now. And we've got a load of absolute idiots dealing with it. Lying idiots. That is what we have. That is the situation that we are in. This needs global attention. Okay? It needs global attention. And it's the professional people of the Western world that now need to speak out. You professional people, you are apparently the most educated and intelligent. You're the non-ignorants, aren't you? You're the high and mighties. Well, you are going to speak out now. You are going to demand action, because apparently you're the only credible witnesses on this planet. Because when the millions of people on the ground, people like myself, speak out, well, you know, you can just ignore us, can't we? Can all be ignored. We're not professionals. So until you professional people start speaking out now about this issue, and the issue of vaccines, and the issue of children's rights to justice, until you professionals start speaking out about this, about what is going on, about the real issues, and start giving some support towards people on the ground who are making sense and who are sharing, it's sharing sanity. Until you give us some support, then you're all doomed. And the people of love, they will always find a home in this universe, but you lot, you're doomed. You're doomed to come back again and again and again onto the shit you left behind, because you were too ignorant to even notice, because you're so stuck up your own stupid little arseholes, flying high on your ego trips, looking down on everybody. Well, hadn't you noticed you're hanging in the air? Gravity is going to hit, okay? You either come down gently or you land with a thud. And one of the ways to come down gently is to realise what you've been doing and how you've been brainwashed, and how you have been keeping your mouth shut and ignoring so much and sailing high on your ego's trips, precisely because you are all supporting this crap that is TEPCO and the World Bank. You give it its credibility. You write its news. You publish its books. You make its TV programmes. So until you people start speaking out, you so-called scientists all busy with your latest, what I call scientific toss at CERN, you need to get your heads out of the sand. Because, you know, chasing quantum particles is not going to alter anything about this, is it? We don't need a quantum particle collider, actually, scientists. What we need is something that can deal with 2 nuclear melt-throughs, okay? That's what we need. Are you going to give it to us? And, you know, this is not going to go away, because from the Pacific, this is, you know, nuclear particles, they don't dilute. Understand that, they do not dilute. Not in seawater. They magnify. They magnify. Understand, please, understand what they have done. Stop this evil world. Have a look at my previous videos. Stop it. We have to stop it. We have to close down this evil nuclear industry. They cannot deny the horror of it anymore. And the immense damage that they've done. That really, it'll be our children and our children's children that notice the effects of this as it continues and carries on. It cannot go on. I can't believe that it's gone on for 7 years. And there hasn't been a UN meeting about it and what to do. Because everybody's too busy trying to, you know, find a way through this blooming banking collapse. I just feel so, I can't tell you, this is, you know, this has just been a blight on my life since it happened. And I can't tell you how deeply upset I feel, and especially, you know, for the people and the life of Japan and the Pacific Ocean, as just, it just hurts me so much to even think about those poor creatures and what they have suffered, and that I'm living on this planet with this apparently intelligent species that feels nothing for those creatures, nothing. So, you know, it makes me wonder, am I a real human being? What, is there something wrong with me? Is there something wrong with some human beings that actually feel and care? Is that wrong? Is that wrong? You know, is that a sign of madness to care? Are we supposed to be like robots? I don't understand. You know, is that why I witnessed a live being? Because I'm mad? Is that why it showed itself to me? You know, is that why Jesus saw the saint? You know, because he was mad. Is that why Prophet Muhammad saw an angel? Because he's mad. Is this just a madness? And actually we should be, you know, like psychopaths and just not care and just do whatever we like and not care about the consequences, not care about the impact on the life of our planet, not care about our children, that we just should not care. Because I don't understand. I find it hard to live in this world. I find it hard to be here. It's so difficult just to... I can't just get on, you know, people like, oh, you shouldn't be thinking about these things, you know. Do something nice. Get out and, you know, have a bit of fun. How is it possible to have fun? How is it possible to have fun? It's the TEPCOs of this world who've been having their fun, isn't it? It's the scientists who've been having their fun. The world bankers have been having their fun. The world leaders have been having their fun. It's been no fun for us people on the ground, and we just get to witness the results of your fun. From your funding, what you decide to fund, you professionals. You know, and the people who were speaking at the truth about this right from the start, you know, people like H. Thomas Ackerman and Dana and Kevin Blanch, who spoke out straight away. And there's Professor Christopher Busby, and yes, there's Arnie Gunderson as well. You know, people who did speak out, and RT News has always covered it well. But again, really, you know, that's it. RT News, the odd report. Nothing really on the mainstream media. It's just downplay, 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 downplay. When actually, you know, they have convinced the world that a huge mountain is in fact a molehill. Okay, and the whole world is convinced that a molehill is in fact a huge mountain. That is the reality of the world we are living in. It is totally, completely upside down and inside out. Now, the only way now is that the world, the people of this planet, the intelligent, compassionate people of this planet, if I am not wrong, and I am a true human being, okay, for having a feeling and a care, if I am not wrong, if I am right, then what has to happen now is for the whole intelligent humanity of this planet to stand up and come together. We come together on the issue of our children's rights, of human rights, of women's rights, and on getting this crap at Fukushima cleared up and sorted out. We are going to have to employ every scientist on earth now to work out a way to stop this, to clean it up, regardless, no cost. We have all the money in that we can produce. If that's what represents our faith in life, is a paper note, well, so be it. Print the paper notes, get this sorted out. Personally, I believe that we need physical gold to seal these plants now. That it is going to take physical gold, a material that involves physical gold, to seal this plant off and to somehow absorb and contain the radiation that has been dumped into the Pacific Ocean. We are going to have to find a way. Where there's a will, there's a way. Apparently, NASA landed men on the moon in the 1960s. What? And we can't deal with a nuclear melt-through? Why, you know, the absolute insanity of it, and it has always, from my childhood, it's something that just confounded me, it enraged me actually even to think about it when I was a kid. That they built these nuclear reactors without any means whatsoever of dealing with a melt-through. And it struck me as a child because I watched the film about, was it 3 Mile Island, the China Syndrome. And that was when I realised that they've got these nuclear power stations, but actually there could be a melt-through. And that would be the most dreadful thing. And actually they had nothing to stop it. Nothing. And instead of developing something to stop it, our scientists have built CERN, their particle collider. That, you know, that is the proof and evidence of their absolute ignorance and madness, and just the total irresponsible attitude. They're ignorant, irresponsible. Devil may care. No, well, the devil may care, but we know he won't, because he doesn't. And that's why the devil will build a nuclear reactor to provide the material for his bombs, because you can't get a nuclear weapon without a nuclear reactor. Understand that, people who believe that these have been built to provide us with power. No, they have been built to provide nuclear material and to get the Queen rich on an otherwise poisonous, noxious substance on her Commonwealth lands. Basically making money out of toxic shite. So, you know, just the fact that they could create these reactors, not bother to produce anything at all about, well, what will happen if there's a melt-through? Oh, we won't even bother thinking about that. Let's not go into the doom and gloom. Anyway, we need funding now, World Bank, for our nuclear particle collider, because, you know, we want to use quantum particles. We want to create a black hole to see how the universe was created. Well, we're destroying this planet that the universe created. You know, understand, these people are so crazy. They're so crazy. They've been going so crazy for so long that they don't even know themselves how crazy they are. Well, it's about time they faced reality. And it's about time we, the 20% of the human population who live in the West, who do have a voice and power to speak, who have an education, who have food on your plate enough to give you strength to stand up and save our planet. Because you're going to have to do it. Because it's the 20% of the global population that are profiting off the 80% who have nothing. They've got no power to change the world. They're struggling just to be able to get water. The women have absolutely no rights. You people in the West are going to realise what a very small population you are compared to the global population, and how it is on your responsibility now to stand up and speak out. And most especially the professional people of this world. You want to talk about quantum energy? Yeah, I know all about quantum energy. I've witnessed the intelligence of quantum energy that created us and wrote our DNA. So nobody can tell me I'm wrong. Okay, that's my life experience. If you can prove to me I'm mad. But there again, you know, I didn't create a nuclear reactor and nothing at all in case of a melt through and then skip off to create me quantum particle collider. You know, apparently the scientists, the bankers, they can ask for these things, can't they? They can ask for a quantum particle collider. Me, I can't even ask for child rights, a child rights to justice without ending up, you know, being accused and persecuted. But yeah, you know, go ahead, ask for a quantum particle collider. So, you know, I know that this can be fixed. I know that we can do it. I have faith, because this is our problem in the sense of our species. Okay? And we have a responsibility and a duty to sort it out and to learn from this problem and to understand the significance of it and how important it is that we end this present form of nuclear power, that we close down every single power station on Earth, because we've already caused a grievous injury to our planet, and we've got these reactors still going on all over the planet, and we know what the grievous injury is, and we know that we've got nothing to cure it or treat it. Well, you know, I believe in Jah, and I believe in the quantum energy of our eternal soul and spirit, and I believe that the righteous of this earth, no matter what happens to this planet, there will always be a life and a home for us in this universe who truly care and who are righteously speaking out and demanding action, positive action. All the rest, you know, I'm sorry, you will keep coming back to the filth that you thought you could leave behind. And that's the way it is. The truth, the reality of reincarnation, okay, you can't escape from it. You can't escape from the reality of your own quantum energy souls, because you know it. You know it. You've got your Hadron Collider to prove it. That quantum energy exists, and it is real. And it is the quantum energy of our soul and spirit. So, you know, you want to ignore this in this life, and you think you're going to die and that's it, and yeah, well, I had my fun on the planet while it was there. Never mind about the next generation. Well, you're going to be born from that next generation. You're going to be the ones that will be bearing the consequences of, you know, you jumbled up DNA because some mad crazy person has been messing about with things that they shouldn't mess about with, because they think that they're God and they think that they have the right. Well, it will be hell coming back into life on Earth if this generation cannot stand up for our rights and save our planet. Because this just cannot continue. This present rate of consumption and waste just cannot continue. Okay, because what we're consuming is absolute filth. It's filth, creating filth and waste and destruction and death. Okay, it isn't anything that's sustainable. They can't even sustain their economies. How can they sustain a planet Wake up people. Why are people of the West especially giving so much credence to these professional people who are so stupid? You think that they can run a planet when they can't even run an economy? You rich people, you're putting all your investments into their ridiculous evil Agenda 21. Do you really, really believe that they are going to lead you anywhere except to hell? You're so stupid. Invest your wealth in life, in reality, in law, in justice, in the children, in cleaning up our planet. I tell you, you'd be amazed.